Welcome to Women in Power Active, an initiative started by UR Sportswear to empower women to find their own active adventure. On today's episode, we're joined by Genevive Walker, a climber, guide, writer, and advocate who turned a love for climbing into a mission for change. After years of living out of her car and climbing around the world, she noticed a lack of representation in the outdoor community. That realization became the spark for a much larger purpose. She's since partnered with brands like National Geographic, The North Face, and Brown Girls Climb to amplify underrepresented voices. Through retreats and international guiding, she helps women and climbers of color build confidence and community in the outdoors. Her platform is about more than just climbing. It's about access, visibility, and belonging. I first met Genevieve during a Climb Malawi event where she had traveled to Malawi to support and help grow a local climbing community there. As part of the event, there was a Q&A section, and when Genevieve began sharing her story, I knew immediately that I wanted her to be on the podcast. I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome, Genevieve.
Thank you so much. And let me just say, that was a better intro than I've ever had for myself. I think you just need to write intros for me all the time.
Okay, yeah, I'll share it with you. We always like to start at like the very beginning. So, how did you get into being an active person?
Ooh. Okay, so yeah, growing up, I wasn't really an active person because my family weren't outdoorsy.
Mhm.
Um, it was really when I started college, community college, I dated a guy who lived at the base of the Gunks, so it's the Shawangunk Mountains in New York State. I grew up about 30 minutes from there, and he was a rock climber, ice climber, hiker, all these things I've like never even really knew existed.
Yeah.
And then on our first date, he took me climbing, like night climbing in the Gunks. And I remember just being like in awe and really interested, and I loved it. I got like 2 feet off the ground, and it was like in the middle of the winter, and I fell in love. And ever since then, like he would take me out climbing because again, the Schwankunks was basically in my backyard.
Mhm.
And it's kind of interesting. I feel like when you date somebody, sometimes you both tend to kind of absorb each other's interests. Like maybe you weren't a biker and you got into biking or yoga. But then when you break up, you kind of lose those, or those interests kind of fizzle out because you realize more it was like their thing, not really your thing. Well, that didn't happen with me with climbing. It was actually the opposite. I like got so obsessed, and after we broke up, I feel like I just went like deep dive
Mhm.
into it. And throughout college, just started going to the local gym more, and that's, I think, the beginning of me really kind of creating my own identity in a way of like creating my own friend group and like figuring out interests and things I don't like and like who I was. Because up until then, I just kind of went to school, was focused on getting good grades, but didn't really take time to figure out what I liked as a human and
Mhm.
like what my interests or passions were in life. And I feel like climbing was kind of that door to realizing like I just love the outdoors and anything outside.
Yeah. What like first kind of like inspired you about climbing or like had that connection where you're or aha moment where you're like, oh, I really enjoyed doing this.
I think it was the physical challenge. I really liked being able to push myself physically. And throughout college and like even a little bit in grade school, I dealt with a really bad eating disorder, which made it, I think, really hard for me to be active and be physical. And when I started to climb, which is when I started to realize, like, okay, because I'm still dealing with this, I need to either like nip this in the butt if I want to keep pursuing this passion of mine, because I just started to see that there was a lot of um, just things going wrong with my body that I didn't notice before
Mhm.
that started to come up once I started to push myself. And my body needed like the calories and like the proper nutrition that I wasn't feeding myself prior. And honestly, I tell people to this day, like if it wasn't for climbing, like I don't know if I'd be here today because it really opened my eyes to what healthy living like. And like again, when you're like 18, you don't know. You think you know everything and you really know nothing. after kind of recognizing that like I had to nip that in the butt,
Hmm.
was really what kind of like sparked me to like, yeah, like I said, focus more on my physical and mental health, which really I think like set a great foundation for like the rest of my life. Um, because I really do start to cherish that a lot more. And like I said, like anytime you deal with something like that, I like it's never nipped in the butt fully. Like it's something you
Hmm.
live with forever. But it is like it is a little bit of a reminder in the back of my head, like, okay, like, yeah, if I want to keep pursuing not just like climbing, but hiking and all the other things outside, like you have to take care of yourself first. And I think that's a reminder that I have about just all my work in general, which we'll get into, is like it's I have to remind myself to like take care of me before I can take care of anybody else. And that's been like something I've repeatedly remind myself almost every day, which can be
Yeah.
hard. But yeah, I kind of went off on a tangent there, but
No, no, that's great. So like as you've kind of like grown as like a climber, you kind of alluded to it just now, but you got a little bit more into like guiding. Can you talk a little bit about like how you got into that?
yeah. So honestly, so I got into guiding back in 2018. I was part of the first all women's cohort for the ANGA women's SPI course. And it was actually someone from Brown Girls Climb at the time who reached out and thought I'd be a good candidate for one of the spots. And I even told her, I was like, there's no way. I don't know any women that
Hmm.
are guides, let alone anybody that's of color or black, like in the outdoor space like that. Um, but she just thought like I had the skills, starting climbing like in the gunks and like learning trad and like learning a lot of these systems. And I just said, okay, I'm going to give it a shot.
Hmm.
It was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life because it was also one of those times where I just felt very vulnerable and really scared
Hmm.
and had a lot of doubt on myself. And I just went head first and gave it a shot. And I took the course and actually realized that I knew way more than I thought I knew. The course came actually really easy. And so did the exam afterwards. And I was like, wow, okay, like I need to start believing in myself a little bit more.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for somebody else who believed in me, I don't think I would have saw that in myself.
Hmm.
And that was 2018. And I've been guiding ever since. And yeah, I just never thought past Genevieve would like look at myself now and see me as a guide. Like I didn't think I'd be here in 2025 guiding.
Right.
And kind of like paving my own path in the industry as well.
Hmm.
I'm very grateful for that. Because I honestly don't really enjoy just like the typical like taking a bunch of folks out climbing for the first time who just kind of want the experience. Like I love doing that, but I really love to incorporate some kind of like education. I want somebody to like leave with more than that they had and also feel like they're leaving with something that's going to help them grow.
For for people watching the video, we're having some technical difficulties, so we had to switch over to Genevieve's phone. I did want to ask you one thing that when you were talking earlier was, um, where do you think like that self-doubt came from when you were not sure about joining that guiding course?
I don't think I really just saw myself in that space. Um, Up to that point, I mean, as a Black woman in the climbing world where I grew up, like I never really saw people like me. Um, at my gym, at the Crag, I was the only Black climber. At the time, it wasn't something that I thought about that much externally. I think it was always there internally, but growing up my entire life, I was always the odd one out. So again, it's not something that I thought about a lot consciously.
Hmm.
But I think that's where that doubt comes from. But it wasn't something, like I said, I could put a label to. It was just something that was always there. And like I said, I only ever saw white dudes as guides, and my friends who were guides just talked about it being so hard and difficult, and how they failed the test, and they had to like, it was just a whole thing. And even when I was thinking about it at the time, like friends and my partner, no one really like had my back and was like, "You really should just do this. Like, I think you'd be
Mhm.
great. Like, you've got these skills." Like, I didn't really get that, nor did I really like, ask that from people. Um, but yeah, I think it was because I just really didn't see myself in that space. And that's really what I'm trying to do as a guy now is just like, and I know people have been talking about representation for a while, but I think it's because it is really impactful
Mhm.
to a lot of folks. And like I said, it's not something, sometimes that impact isn't conscious. It's not right there in your face. Sometimes it is a little bit more deeper. But it still has an effect. Um, and that's really what I'm trying to do. And I have to remind myself, even just being a guide, I don't have to put myself on social. I don't have to create all these things. I think just being a guide and just being there for people sometimes is enough.
Right.
Um, but my personality, I always want to do more. But I think that that program was really important. I think it really gave a lot of folks in that cohort the confidence to exceed in the guiding world. And it's really cool to see my friends to this day, like branching off and doing stuff within guiding all these different branches. There's some folks that have gotten more into like the mountaineering side, some folks that got into more of the backpacking side.
Mhm.
Um, and I just think it's beautiful. And now there's so many these affinity courses that have been put out by the ANGA with the help of a lot of brands. Um, and yeah, I'm really grateful to have been a part of the like the
Yeah,
OG cohort. Yeah.
that's so
Yeah.
cool. So you're still like in touch with all of those women that were in your course?
Majority of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like most of us have still stayed within the space. Some folks worked for Knowles for a while.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just cool also to see like what other kind of careers and paths are out there because you really don't know unless you know.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that there was so much potential of within the career in the outdoor industry. Like I didn't know what else was out there.
Yeah.
So it's been a really good journey to say the least.
Yeah.
Wild, crazy.
Yeah, yeah, you've done like so many different things. Um, uh, do you mind like talking about some of the guiding trips that you've gone on, like other places?
Yeah, so when I first started guiding, actually my first guiding job
Hmm.
was I went to there was a festival called Color the Crag
Hmm.
that was in Horse Pens in the South. And I went 2019. That was right after I finished my exam and I was a fresh single pitch instructor.
Hmm.
They invited me there to teach like an intro to trad. And I was psyched. I was nervous, but I was excited.
Yeah.
And I remember it rained that day and I was like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? And we ended up teaching this clinic under a pavilion. I like flipped up a picnic table. I was like teaching cam and nut placements like in the cracks of the picnic table. And I was like, this is amazing. And
Yeah.
like Color the Crag, it was a festival centered for folks of color in the outdoors. So there was
Mhm.
300 beautiful folks of color um, in this place. And I think I'm really grateful to have that be my first experience
Wow.
working as a guide because
Mhm.
it really, I mean, I was already like wanting to work with folks in my community, but I think having that be my first experience made me really recognize like this is the space I want to be in.
Yeah.
Um, and from there, the guiding company that was working that festival was called at the time Space Photography. It was a woman-owned company based out of Chattanooga.
Hmm.
And the girl Savannah was just like really happy with the work I did, like loved my energy, and was like, hey, like I would love for you to come work for me. So that was my first guiding company that I worked for. It was a women-owned company centered on women in the outdoors.
Wow.
And that was lovely. Like I loved just being around other women in that space because also my most of my climbing career has been men. Like I
Hmm.
just haven't really had that female presence.
Yeah.
So I got to do that for a while and that was great. The company kind of dissolved. And from there, I worked for another company that kind of did similar work, but didn't really work out, really bad management.
Hmm.
And from there, I realized I was like, okay, like I love guiding. It's been great working with a bunch of like women in the outdoor space.
Hmm.
But like the reason I really wanted to become a guide in the first place was to work with folks in my own community.
Right.
And I really haven't had that chance. I could say the majority of the women-centered spaces that I've worked in, except for like one, I was the only Black woman there.
Hmm.
There were other women of color, but in terms of like Black women, it was only ever me. And I think I also just wanted more diversity as well.
Yeah.
Even as a guide, I was like, this space is all, I'm a guide, but also I feel like this space is also for me. I'm here not just
Hmm.
to guide you, but also to build a community in a way.
Yeah.
Um,
Love that.
so after the second company that I worked for and left, I realized I'm like, okay, if I want to keep working in this industry, I really need to figure out how to do it my way.
Hmm.
Um, so I kind of just branched off on my own and started working independently as a guide, and trying to figure out how to make that work. I started collaborating with a bunch of other smaller organizations, nonprofits that needed guides for different events.
Hmm.
And then more recently, within the last couple of years, connected with a guiding company nonprofit called Rise Outside,
Hmm.
who's based in New York. And they started off as a nonprofit, now as an accredited ANGA guiding company that is run by POCs, folks in the career space. And it's lovely. The work they're doing aligns exactly with what I want to do. And it's been great to be able to not only work in collab, mostly work in collab with other organizations and brands and groups who are also within my community. Um, so that I really want, especially nowadays, my
Yeah.
money to be circulated back within our community. So making sure like that's part of my mission with all of this is just yeah, working with other folks who are also aligning with my vision. Um, and it was really great because during all of this, I actually got in contact with GCI, so the Global Climbing Initiative,
Hmm.
who reached out to me a few years back about this project that they were doing in Malawi. Um, and before I even had the details, I was like, yes, like this is, I mean, I've always wanted to go to Africa, one, and two, to be
Hmm.
able to go there and do work that I want to do within the industry that I'm doing it in. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
We will hash out the details later, but I
Yeah.
am in.
Yeah.
And it's been great. It's been also great seeing all the work that GCI does, not just within Malawi, but with all the other communities. And really also like helping uplift them because I really think it's important for everybody to like see what other groups are doing out there.
Yeah.
Because there's like when I first started climbing, like I mean, social media wasn't a thing. It was mostly just magazines where you'd get any news or info about climbing,
Hmm.
which is also like its own thing. Not really diversified in the magazine world, in the print world.
Hmm.
Um, so it's just really cool, I think, nowadays to be able to have more access to different organizations and groups out there that are doing amazing work and being able to connect and figure out how to support and uplift them. And I feel like GCI is like one organization who I'm like, I want everybody and anybody to know the work that they're doing. Um, again, I talked a lot just now, but I'm
No,
just
no,
like, it's
yeah, that's great. Yeah, I was thinking about that, like how fulfilling your work must feel because like it's something that's like true to your heart and like which can also be very if you're putting yourself all into work, it can be really tiring sometimes. Do you deal with that at all? Like, because you are also doing a very physical job, obviously. You're active.
It's a
Um,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm tired all the time.
Yeah.
And actually, I was just talking to the executive director of Rise Outside a couple days ago, and they were
hmm
like, make sure you take time for yourself because you will get burnt out.
Yeah.
Like that's just the reality of it. And I am. I'm trying to find balance.
hmm
Um, but I think what keeps me going is like that I am so passionate about the work I do.
Yeah.
Um, because I just feel like everyone that I'm meeting feels like a friend. I want everybody that I'm meeting to be part of my community. Like I
Yeah.
want, so I think that's what keeps me going. But yes, I feel like after a long stint of work, I come home and I'm like, don't talk to me. I'm not leaving the house. Like I need to reset. And
Yeah.
I think I'm getting more comfortable taking that time.
Yeah. So are you like an introvert then? Just like extroverted in spaces that you feel comfortable or like what what you just need your time to reset when you get home.
Yeah, I think I reset by myself on my
Okay.
own. I
Mhm.
really enjoy going out to a nice dinner by myself, like treating myself to a nice
Oh.
dinner. I
Yeah.
love it. I love sitting at a table and people watching and having
Mhm.
like a really fancy meal that I normally wouldn't want to pay for,
Yeah.
but like I'm treating myself. Um, but I like love being around people. Like I love socializing, but I also love being in a big group and just sitting there and observing.
hmm
So I'm everything. I don't know what
Yeah.
I am. I like it all. It's so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I also have a really huge case of FOMO.
Uh-huh.
So like when
Okay.
somebody ever asks me to come to something, I'm like, yes, like
hmm
'cause I don't want to miss out, you know? Like I don't
Yes.
know. So yeah, I think that's why I also, like I said, I do a deep reset,
Yes.
usually on my own. I love reality TV, like bad reality TV.
hmm
I love sitting on my couch and just like vegging out.
Yeah.
It's crazy when I meet a lot of other friends that are very outdoorsy and like
hmm
they'll be outside all the time and do all these things and then they want to come home and like go for hikes and bikes and I'm like, nah, like I'm gonna sit on my couch for 24 hours
Yep.
and just catch up on all my bad reality TV and make myself a really nice dinner. And then I'll
Yes.
be ready. But yeah, I don't know. I've always loved I love people. When I was
hmm
in college, I went my degree is in psych. And I like
Okay.
really wanted to just learn more about, yeah, the human body, like how we work, how we interact with
hmm
ourselves, with people. Um, but like the academia world, research never was really for me. I think I do need to be physically active in some space. And I feel like
Yeah.
guiding, at least with the work I'm doing, is kind of a mishmash of both. Like I
hmm
still get to learn how to create space for people to be vulnerable and push themselves and
Yeah.
maybe conquer their fears, but also still be active and get outside. So I
Yeah.
feel like it's been a really good way for me to match the two, mush the two.
Yeah. Yeah. That's such a good point about the like vulnerability of climbing just because like you are trying to push yourself and at certain times like I when I was climbing with other people, I didn't feel like it was okay for me to be afraid or like giving myself space to be uncertain about like the next move. I kind of had to like push through that without like showing that I was like afraid. But like now that I'm like with other people that I feel more comfortable with, I'm okay being like, I don't want to do this. Like I'm feeling like I got up the wall as far as I want to and I'm good now. So it does really it does feel really nice to have somebody there that you can like be yourself with, especially up on the wall when you're feeling scared.
And I mean, I still go through that myself.
Hmm.
I've been realizing in my personal climbing where I'm like, I feel like I have to finish this or I have to do that. I still feel like sometimes like I'm proving myself at the crag.
Yeah.
And I hate that feeling.
hmm
And it's been really good to be able to have those days where I'm just like, nah, I'm good. Like, I don't need to get a full day out. I think I'm good after a couple hours. I'm ready to go home, or like, I don't want to finish that climb,
Yeah.
or there's been days where I've gone out to climb and I end up literally just like napping all day and like
Mm-hmm.
watching my friends climb. And I was like, this was one of the best days I've had outside in a long time because I'm listening to my body and
Yes.
like giving my body what it needs, which is
Mm-hmm.
rest,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
So I really try to like remind people that when I'm out guiding is like, this is your time. It's your time on the wall. It's your time on the ground. Like, do what you want. If you want to
Mm-hmm.
just get one climb in today, cool. If you just want to snack all day and hang out and like, encourage other folks, good. But if you do want to push yourself, like I like to ask people, like, what does that look like for you? And like,
Yeah.
what do you need from me to do that? Like, do you like words of encouragement? Do you like things to be silent? Like, if you're ready to come down, do you want me to ask you, like, are you sure you're ready to come down?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes when people are like, I want to come down, they're like, I'm done. But other
Yeah.
times there's folks who are like, I want to come down. And you're like, are you sure? And they're like, no. So I love being able to just like open up that um space of conversation.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. I do see, especially like when I first got into guiding and working with a lot of traditional guiding spaces where it's just like they're just like, get up, yeah, just go, get it
Mm-hmm.
up, flex up, blah blah blah. And like it just doesn't seem like a healthy space when you're
Yeah.
bringing out folks who are like, especially like not used to this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not used to being outside, not used to being on the wall, not knowing that they are afraid of heights until they're up there. Even little things like being comfortable using the bathroom outside
Mm-hmm.
and like being able to like coach folks through that and be like, you know what, like let me help you
Mm-hmm.
because I've like definitely been around people who've like even just pooped outside for the first time and they're
Yeah.
like, I was so scared of doing that, I would just hold it all day. But now I'm like, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And like it's like little wins like that that just like put so much joy
Mm-hmm.
in my space. So yeah, I think like I'm really like I think that's another important thing is to start to like reimagine like what the guiding industry can look like and what it should look like.
Yeah.
Um, because times are changing, more people are getting out. Um, I'm excited to see that there's an increase of diversity within the guiding space, but with that, like just comes a little bit more of thought, and a little bit more empathy with people, I
Yes.
think
Yes.
is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Uh,
yeah.
what are you specifically like working on? I mean, climbing wise, or just, I mean, so much of climbing is emotional. So, like, what are you kind of trying to get over or working through, or maybe it's a certain climb that you're trying to do or accomplish?
I feel like the last couple of years I've been so focused on my guiding
Hmm.
work, I've kind of put my personal climbing on the back burner, mostly because I've just been really tired. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to carve out more space for my personal climbing, um, and just kind of like channeling my like inner grittiness a little bit. I think one thing that everybody always remembers me as is somebody who will like, I will give 150% every single go, no matter what. Even if I
Hmm.
don't feel like I'm that close, I'm like, what's the point of giving it a try if I'm not gonna like go all in?
Yeah.
And I've been so tired lately, I haven't really had the energy to do that. So
Yeah.
I've been trying to focus a little bit more on my own climbing.
Hmm.
Being in Chattanooga, the Red River Gorge is really close by.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite places to climb. I love sandstone. I love
Hmm.
long endurance style
Yeah.
where you just feel like you're on the wall forever and you're just like dancing through the motion.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm trying to focus on pushing myself. I like don't want to get too focused on a grade, but there has been like a 13C in mine that I've been trying to work on, and I only had been able to get on it once last year. So I really want to like carve out time this year, to just yeah, project that.
Yeah.
Um, and on the work side of things, last year I started what I call climbing camps, which is kind of like a weekend kind of climbing retreat where we climb and we camp and it's about building community and just connecting with other folks that are
Yeah.
in that immediate area. Um, so I started my first one last fall in the Red River Gorge, and it was amazing. I'm
Mhm.
able to hire other folks of color, other folks in the queer space,
Yeah.
that are guides. and I get to do it alongside Rise Outside.
Hmm.
Um, and then this spring, I was really busy running a couple. I did one in Red Rocks, one in the Red River Gorge, and then my last one about 2 or 3 weeks ago was in Rumney, New Hampshire, which was really near and dear to me because I lived there for several years, and that's kind of where like I really went like headfirst into climbing.
Yeah.
So it was really nostalgic for me. And so I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm working on that. I'm trying to figure out how to start my own business in a way because it feels
Yeah.
like I am. Um, and it's a lot.
Yes. Those are huge things.
So he's saying making a lot of mistakes and learning a lot, which is great. But
Yeah.
luckily, I have like a really good circle of friends who have been really supportive and
Yeah.
have been patient with me through it all.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, I'm really just trying to figure out where I stand in the guiding world.
Hmm.
Um, and I think this is a good path for me at the moment.
Yeah. No, that sounds awesome. I mean, uh, a little about me. I actually, Red River Gorge is where I first climbed outside. Also one of my favorite places to climb. I love sandstone as well. Um, but yeah, that's so cool that you were kind of like coming back there as part of like your work. You're getting paid to do this. It's so cool. Um, and also I want to say too, like, good job recognizing when you're tired and being like, okay, it's okay. I'm not gonna work on this personal climb right now until I feel less fatigued. I've like definitely kind of gaslit myself before when I'm like, oh, I'm not like if I'm running or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I feel really, really tired. And I'm like, but, kind of talking myself out of it, saying like, oh, you probably don't feel that tired. Kind of one thing about running is like you're kind of taught to gaslight yourself because you're an endurance athlete. And so you're always gaslighting yourself, saying you're not tired. But it can be like a bad thing. So good job recognizing like fatigue and like giving yourself the time to rest um, before you kind of try to attempt that. Um, One thing I wanted to talk about too was like for those trips that those like kind of like micro adventures that you're planning, do you have plans to like expand that to other places as well?
Yeah, I really want to do like a week-long one in El Chico in Mexico
Oh,
because that is another place that I've been going almost every single year since like 2014.
oh wow.
Um, it's been There's just a really awesome local community
Uh-huh.
and community of climbers that go there.
Yeah.
And it's just a place I think I really want to share with folks. The climbing is amazing.
Yeah. Yes, tell
I
us about the
mean,
climbing.
oh, long limestone
Oh wow.
climbing, like
Yeah.
long multi-pitch. It's a great place to like kind of sink your teeth in some sport multi-pitch. You can do
Okay.
like 18 pitches in a day.
Wow.
Um, and it's just beautiful. The canyon's beautiful. The food is great. Um, but because of that, it does feel like it's a very accessible place for newer climbers because it is sport multi-pitch. So unfortunately, there is a lot of accidents that happen there because you get a lot of people who don't really have the multi-pitch skills or
Oh,
outdoor skills
yeah.
and just go there thinking like they can climb. So that's another reason why I want to go. I want to be able to give folks like a really safe but enjoyable taste of what multi-pitch and getting high can look like.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like I said, I've been going there so much. I've just built a really great relationship with a lot of folks who live there,
Yeah.
and I just want to also bring them more business as well. But that's one place that I want to do, hopefully within the next year. And then like a long-term goal would be Turkey because I went there a couple years ago
Mm-hmm.
and I think Turkey is a wonderful place. It's also limestone, but like steep 3D tufa features. And like the Turkish culture is just like beautiful. Like the food
Yeah.
is great, the people are lovely. I think the history there is just so deep.
Yeah.
Um, I really want to be able to provide a trip where it's not just climbing, but also like you get a lot of really good deep taste of the culture. I think
Yeah.
my biggest distaste is like taking a trip to another place where you're just surrounded by this culture, but all you do is climb.
Yep.
Like I think it's really important to like learn about the history and the people,
Hmm.
and the place that you're at. So that's like a long term goal because a little bit more
Yeah. A lot of
work with
planning.
that. A lot of planning.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow. Both of those
yeah.
sound really cool. I've been trying to get into multi-pitch. I have only thus far done single pitch. And just like have been worried about being on the wall for that long and not being able to just be like, okay, I'll just get back down again really easily. Um, but it sounds like doing it with somebody that you trust and like understands that you might be a little scared sounds a lot more manageable than doing it with somebody who might not. I don't know if people understand this, like if they haven't been haven't climbed something. But like if you're somebody who likes to have control of most situations, and then you're kind of in a situation where you don't have that control, it feels sort of hard to push yourself sometimes, because you're already outside of your comfort zone. So multi-pitch for me has been that kind of way where I feel like I might be more interested in doing it if I'm climbing with somebody like you. I mean, because you would understand that I might be scared or I might not want to do it and it's okay. And you're just like, okay, you're fine, that kind of thing. So I think it really does matter that you have like a good guide who can like foster that situation and help you, get back down off the wall if you are panicking for some reason. Um,
Yeah, and also like one thing I like to try to do too is like meet people where they're at. Like some people realize that they are a little bit more comfortable and you can just like go through pitches really fast.
yeah,
The Gunks is like one place that I also really want to do a trip because you can get some multi-pitch experience, but they're like 2, 3 pitches max.
nice.
So it's nice to be able you can get on and off the wall really quickly and you get beautiful views.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, meeting people where they're at, where it's like if one person maybe, yeah, is feeling a little bit more scared and uncomfortable, like
Yeah,
I like to like take the time. And they're especially with somebody newer, they're not gonna understand the systems fully, but
yeah,
taking time to at least like talk them through the systems and be like and showing you like what I'm doing and what's going on and like how you're connected. I feel like sometimes just like explaining things even a little bit can help the person feel a little bit more comfortable because it is scary when you don't really know what's going on and you're just being like pulled up on this wall and you're like couple hundred feet off the ground. You're just
right.
like, I don't understand what's going on,
Yeah.
how I can make myself safer.
Hmm.
So there's been times where I've literally have been on a multi-pitch almost all day with a group because it's like they're just not they'll maybe do the first pitch and they're feeling okay and then they're like freaking out in the second pitch. So like take time to explain like my anchor and like how you're connected in
Hmm.
and those other things. And then the third pitch they might feel a little bit better and then
Yeah.
maybe they don't the fourth. And just taking time to work that and it might take all day, but by the end of it, they feel so much better and like, okay, I do want to do this again. Because
Hmm.
that's my goal at the end of the day is for you to get off and get down to the ground and be like, okay, that was a lot, but I'm excited to do this again.
Yeah.
Like so again, just meeting people where they're at, I think is really important as a guide.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's huge. I just want people to like understand that like you said, like if you talk to people before and you know that they're scared, like, and them being able to like own that and be like okay with it, I think that's a huge part of it. Like you trying to figure out um what the objective is for the day. Like, are we okay with like, is this a fun day? Is this like you're trying to accomplish something? Like, what is the goal of the day is like really important to get that like for them to feel like they've actually accomplished what they wanted to accomplish and for you to help like be the conduit to, get them there.
And realize that too, like getting to the top isn't always the end goal. Like just
Hmm.
even getting a few pitches is like is a huge accomplishment in
Yeah.
itself. Like don't have I like hate try I hate even I sometimes will do that, be like, we have to get to the top. And it's
Yeah.
like, you don't. You really don't. You can still get a great view and you still got a lot out of the day. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, for you and like your climbing or guiding, like what is there somebody who like inspires you?
I think, okay, well, climbing, guiding, I think all of it. I have a really good friend, Brittany Levitt, who
Hmm.
is the CEO now of Brown Girls Climb.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know if you know of her or like know anything about her, but she is just like someone who does it all.
Hmm.
Um, when I first got into guiding, I just knew her as she was an educator. Now she does Brown Girls Climb. She also was a really great um, gardener and volunteers in this like beautiful garden in New York City.
Yeah.
And then does so much more on top of that. And then still has time for friends. I think why she's so inspirational to me is because I'm like, I don't know how you can do it all, have time for folks in your community and still find time for yourself. She is tired a lot as well,
Yeah.
but I'm just like so inspired because she does so much for people. She does so much for everybody. And I think it's also working on finding the balance. But
Hmm.
I just feel like I can see myself in her. And I think that's what I get out of it. It's just like, okay, I'm not the only one out there.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not doing as much as she is, but I just feel like I'm not the only one out there who's tired.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah, she has just been a huge inspiration to just like keep going, realize that like there's gonna be times when I'm feeling amazing. There's gonna be times where I feel like I'm not doing anything right.
Yeah.
But and she always tells me too, like, I can't do it all. I have to
Mhm.
remind myself that. Like, even just like I said, being who I am and just doing the things that I love to do, personally is like more than enough. Like I can't expect myself to do everything. To
Yeah.
remind myself that a lot.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
No, I
shout out
I
to Brittany.
yeah, exactly. Um, so like you're still kind of like basically working on like the balance aspect of things. Um,
Yeah, I am. It's hard because when I first started working with a couple of different brands that they brought me onto the team,
mhm.
partly for the community work that I was doing, but wasn't doing as much as I am now.
Yeah.
But also I think just for like my personal climbing accomplishments. And as much as they would try to remind me, and I try to remind myself, like, it's not all just about the grade or the accolades or accomplishments.
Hmm.
There's still a part of me that feels like I still have to like perform,
Yeah.
which is really hard when I'm working so much and constantly doing a lot of other things. So I think trying to find that balance of like work, um, personal climbing goals,
Hmm.
to feel like I have to like appease like the brands I'm working with. And also like just remembering to have fun.
Yeah.
I feel like
Exactly.
sometimes, like, even the personal climbing feels like work. Like, I feel like I'm doing it not for myself, I'm doing it for somebody else.
Hmm.
And I don't like that feeling. Um, I'm trying to find that balance of like pushing myself
Right.
because I want to, not because I have to,
Yeah.
and making sure I still find fun and enjoyment personally, which, like I said earlier, sometimes it's literally going outside and like laying on my mat all day.
Hmm.
And that's great.
That
Yeah.
is yeah, that is great. I'm like I'm wondering like getting to know you as like a person, like you're kind of like you just kind of have this internal drive that you can't really turn off unless you like completely tell yourself it's time to rest. Like you're either on or you're off.
So right.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's very like inspiring, but also yeah, there's some times where you can see like where you would just burn out really quickly if you kept going, and you will keep going if it's time to be on. Um
Kind of like what you were saying with running, like
yeah.
it's almost this guilty feeling. Like if you don't, like you
Yes.
feel guilty not doing it.
Hmm.
And literally, my friend, like 3 days ago, was like, "Do you want to get out climbing?" And I said, "No, it's kind of hot. I'm kind of tired." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm just feeling guilty. Like I haven't climbed in a couple of days." I'm like, "That's not that long."
Yes. Yes.
You
Exactly.
know, and for me, this year, I've climbed the least amount I have within the last 11 years. And I felt so guilty about it. But it's
Yeah.
like, you know what? It's okay.
Yep.
Like, I'm reminding myself it's okay because I still sometimes feel like it's not.
Yeah.
But it's like I hate feeling like that.
Yeah.
Because like, are you having fun at that point? Are you doing it for your like who are you doing this for?
Right. Exactly. Yeah, we're doing it because it was fun to begin with. So,
Uh-huh.
why are we doing it right now if it doesn't feel like that anymore?
It feels like a
Um,
drag. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I know because like when I was like running and I was just feeling like tired, it it wasn't any point at in my brain where I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't run today. It was like, oh, I just feel tired today, like, and then when you like kind of add up those days where you're like, I feel tired today, I feel tired today, I feel tired today, and it's like every day you're feeling like, oh, I'm tired, then you kind of have to like at a certain point realize that you're fatigued and you need to stop.
And
Uh,
rest.
yeah, exactly. And if add all that up at a certain point, you're not gonna enjoy that feeling day after day after day. But yes, you're right, exactly. I don't know why we feel guilty when we're not doing the thing, and it shouldn't be the case, but I definitely have that. I can't not run or I can't not climb. Um, I think climbing for me isn't specifically like necessarily that way. Like I don't have that about climbing, but I definitely have it for running. And it's like some people are like, "Oh, I was so good. It's so great you're like consistent with running." And it's like, "Yeah, it's not necessarily always like I am choosing to run or not run. It's just that I feel like I have to run sometimes. Not in like a bad way. Like I feel like it also releases like stress and things like that where but yeah, it's not necessarily like always good either and healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like me as a climber, you as a runner,
Yeah.
just because we're not doing it all the time doesn't make us less of that.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I don't, and I get like if you stop doing it for a while, sometimes it's like hard to like get back into the groove.
True.
I totally get that. But
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I don't know where the guilt comes from.
Right. Right.
Especially like on the weekends, like my partner works 9 to 5 and I'm very spacey. So a lot of times, like, he always wants to climb on the weekends, which I get. Like, that's his only time to climb.
Right.
But like, we're each other's partners. So usually he's like, let's get out. And I was like, I just really want to, like, go thrifting this Saturday. Like,
Yeah. Totally.
and it's like, I should be okay to do that. Like, I shouldn't feel guilty wanting to just chill out and have like a 2 coffee morning and
Yes.
go
Yeah.
thrifting in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Um, and I think my way of being able to get more comfortable with that, actually, I've been trying to cultivate more friends in Chattanooga because I just moved here 3 years ago. And I think moving as an adult is really hard.
Oh, heck
Like,
yeah.
it's
Yes.
so hard. And it's
Hmm.
like, it's
Yeah.
been a struggle with me here.
Yeah.
But I've been like cultivating more friends who they climb, but climbing's not their thing.
Right.
Like, their things are like knitting or like biking or just
Hmm.
like doing other things around the house. And I'm like, oh, it's like nice to have friends that I know I can go to and be like, let's just do this non-outdoor activity thing. And
Yes.
they're like,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Versus I feel like I used to, at least like few years prior, I feel like all my friends were climbing friends. Like we based our
Yeah.
relationship off of climbing.
Yeah.
And I almost felt like I had some friends I would only climb with. And I'm like, but who are you as a person outside of climbing? Like,
Right.
as 36-year-old now, I'm like, I don't have much time, so I need to be a little bit more intentional with the friendships that I'm building.
Hmm.
And I don't want friendships that are only based around like an activity. I want to like make sure I like get to know you as a person. I want to be able to like go to you if I'm having a difficult time. I don't always want to feel like I have to be on. I can just like
Yes.
have a shitty day and you're okay with that. Like, so yeah, I think I'm just re-envisioning life in my mid
Yeah.
30s right now.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love
Yeah.
that you're talking about this. I totally relate. I moved from Michigan to Washington State and definitely hard to make friends. But then a lot of my friends were just runners and I would run with them and that was like it. Like we wouldn't do anything else. And so Or I mean, or climb. I was making climbing friends because like climbing's really nice where you're like in a gym and so you can like talk to people. You're not just like running and breathing. So, um, but still, we'd only climb together, and I'm like, there's so much value in like just doing other things other than only being active with your friends. Like just going to I don't know, like a market or something like that, like going to farmers market on a Saturday and not like going climbing. It's just like I think part of it is like I have anxiety and so like doing an activity makes me feel less anxious. So that's kind of like how I meet people, but then like once you're like more into friendship and you're less like angsty and like I don't know. I always have anxiety, but like it seems like you would eventually become more solid friends when you're like actually doing things outside of the activity.
Ah, I feel you with the anxiety. I also have really bad anxiety that I
Mhm.
really should actually get taken care of. But
Yeah.
the activities, yeah,
Mhm.
it like gives me something to do and take my mind off of that.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Because I do like it doesn't seem like it, but I get really anxious in social situations.
Oh.
I like prefer big groups because I can always like remove myself and just observe
Oh.
if I want, if I'm starting
Yeah.
to feel, versus the smaller groups, I feel like I have to engage. And a lot of anxiety stems from like not always feeling like I have something to say or like can engage.
Hmm.
I like being able to disengage when I want. Um, yeah, the bigger groups are a lot easier than smaller groups for
Yeah.
me. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to cultivate friendships, man. It's hard.
It is hard as an
It's hard
adult.
as an adult.
Yeah, it's wild. I feel like two people just forget how to do it, you know? It's like we're talking and let's do something. It's like, do you want to do this? Like, okay, yeah. And I'm bad. I need to be the one that also invites the friends because like I just like am chatting and then I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I need to invite these people to do other things and climbing and running too." So, that's also on me. But yeah, it's nice to actually have friends that want to do other things because that's how it was, before and
Yeah.
should always be.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm glad. Well, I don't wish that upon anybody, but I'm also, it's nice to know that I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one, but it's
Yeah.
nice to hear it
Yeah,
sometimes.
exactly.
Because it's
Um,
so hard.
it is so hard. Um, well, I wanted to, okay, so I have a question that we always ask all of our guests, and that is for words of empowerment. Like, is there any words of empowerment you want to give to women that like maybe keep them consistent or keep them climbing or just keep them being awesome?
Let me think. Oh, I think what's worked for me is like taking time to be true to yourself, um, and putting yourself first. I feel like at least my experience has been growing up, like I always have to make sure I'm taking care of others. Not like somebody's ever like said it to me directly, but it's always felt like I've always had to care for others. And yes, that's the work I do, but I think we also have to make sure we put ourselves first and be okay with putting ourselves first in whatever way that looks like.
Hmm.
That can be in your activity of choice and just, expressing yourself a little bit more.
Yeah.
That can be within your personal space, and just taking time for yourself. But yeah, I think just making sure you put yourself first is a good reminder. I remind myself that a lot.
Yeah.
And be okay with saying no. That was one thing I really had to teach myself within the last like 5 years is like learning how to say no to
Hmm.
things, not to just like jobs, activities or whatever, the friends, the people that are close to you, just like being comfortable just saying no.
Hmm.
I don't want to do that. I'm not okay doing that. I just don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Yeah. Putting
Yeah.
myself first has been hard. Um, I feel like it's just like it's looked a lot different than what it's looked like in the past. Like I said, last year I haven't climbed much, but putting myself first meant maybe climbing a little less and giving myself more rest and being okay with that.
Hmm.
Um, I'm still learning how to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I totally
yeah,
get it.
yeah. Especially in vulnerable spaces, like you have to be able to put yourself first.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
God, yeah.
That's a yeah, that's those are both like great points. Like, yeah, not feel guilty about either of those things, saying no or putting yourself first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anything about your story that I you want to say that I haven't asked you?
Oof, we've talked about a lot. I feel like you covered a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep, I think my biggest focus right now is, yeah, building on my climbing camps because I really want to see those succeed. I'm not
Yeah.
really sure where they're gonna go or like how much they're gonna grow, but I really just want to be intentional with that space.
Hmm.
I think the biggest issue is just like trying to figure out how to keep it low cost, but make it sustainable, which has been really hard because right now I've been going through a lot of getting a lot of trying to apply for a lot of grants and get a lot of funding, but like that's not always going to be there. So I really want to make this more self-sustaining,
Hmm.
but with my main focus be making it affordable as well. So yeah, I'm just working on that. And yeah, trying to carve out more time for myself personally,
Yeah.
whether that's climbing or non-climbing. I actually started picking up piano lately. I got
Cool.
myself a keyboard and I'm
Yeah.
trying to learn. I want an activity that's not outside
Yeah.
that I can like do at home and I look forward to. So I've been trying to teach myself piano lately, which has been really fun. And it's been actually really nice to like get excited about doing something inside
Yeah.
and like working my brain in a different way.
Yes.
Um, I want to like channel more of that.
Hmm.
Figure out like what else is Genevieve like?
Yeah.
I told myself the other day, is like if I die tomorrow, would I be happy? I don't think I would because the last 11 years has been so climbing centered and focused, and all I've done was climb.
Hmm.
And like I don't want that to be my entire life. Like I want to do other things.
Right.
I want to like travel the world that's not related to climbing, you know? I
Hmm.
want to like, yeah, learn piano and like learn other things about myself that's not climbing. Like I always want to be a climber. I'll
Yeah.
always be a climber and I always want to climb. Um, yeah, I just want to start tapping into the other, I think, sides of me a little bit
Yeah.
more.
Oh, I love that so much. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good gut check question for yourself to think about. So, um,
Yeah.
I'm
Something to
gonna
think
ponder
about.
that. Yeah, I'm gonna ponder that a
Because
bit.
literally, all of the last few years, all I've done, all my free time has gone to like going outside to climb, going on climbing trips, and it's like I'm very grateful to have that time to do that. But I'm just like I was like telling friends the other day, I'm like I kind of want to do a Europe trip,
Yeah.
but like maybe climb a little, but mostly just like bop around, eat some food.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, that doesn't sound fun." I'm like, "Well, you suck."
Yeah.
Like that's what I want right now. That's what makes me happy, and I think
Yeah.
I need to just be in the moment with what makes me happy instead
Yeah.
of being in the moment with the guilt that I'm not climbing.
Yes. Yes. I know. I'm like, uh, I want to work on that guilt too, because I definitely have it, and there's like only so many hours in a day. So,
Right?
you know,
I don't know how climbing works or running works for you, but like with climbing, like if I want to go outside, it's like a whole day, my
yeah.
whole day.
Yeah.
I get home, I can eat some dinner, and then I'm basically going to bed. Like I
Right.
don't want my all my whole free days to be like that anymore. I want to like I've been actually having more fun just like going to the climbing gym or going to the gym for
Yeah.
like an hour or two, and then having my day to like
Yep.
vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. If people might want to sign up for any of your like camps that you're putting on or they
Hmm.
want to follow you, like where can you be found? Where do you want to be found? Um,
Um, So Instagram would probably be number one. It's Walker Genevieve, my last and first name. Very creative, I know. So I will post everything up on there and then have a link to signups, which will be through, most of them will be through the Rise Outside website, which again, the link will be on my bio. I also have a website, it's genevivewalker.com. I'm actually working on adding like a whole page for my climbing camps up there. So that should be
Cool.
within the next couple months. Um, and then I'm working on starting like a newsletter because a lot of folks are like, how can we stay updated on the events? So learning all this stuff as we go. So
Mhm.
that will also be available hopefully by the end of the summer. That will be on my website and I'll share it on Instagram as well. But Instagram and my website will probably be the two easiest ways.
Great. You can follow me personally. That's at Jacalyn Gross, Jacalyngross. You can check out any of our products at yoursportswear.com. And you can follow Your Sportswear on all social platforms at UR Sportswear. If you are listening to this and you want to watch the video version, you can go to UR Sportswear's YouTube channel and subscribe. Both the audio and video version of this podcast was produced by Jeremy Canaria and edited by me. Genevieve Walker, thank you so much for being on this podcast. It was an amazing conversation.
Thank you so much. Sorry for all technical
Oh
difficulties,
no,
but we made it work.
we did it. Yep, we did it.